already posted all these works on my Tumblr and Instagram and other websites, but I actually hadn't told much about their backstory. So I decided that it would be a good idea to share something about like a backstory of all these paintings, and what inspired me, and by what exactly I was, like motivated. That sort of thing. All these paintings are encased in an unconventional way, just like watercolor paintings, though these are works which are done in acrylic and gouache. Why I did that is because I usually paint on something that I have at home, and it's usually paper. Sometimes it's watercolor paper, sometimes it's something else, but I do not paint a lot on canvas, though I like painting on canvas because it's very convenient, but most of the time I just don't have it. I keep them in these frames because a lot of dust is usually collected on the paintings, and this glass, it keeps them relatively, clean, tidy, and also protects them from the sunlight. Though acrylic painting is not that susceptible to sunlight, but anyway. So let's start from this one. This is the work that I painted circa like probably November or December of 2015. Back in the day, I was studying a lot about Japanese culture because I was always fascinated by it, and I was also working on my comic book, The Loner, and this painting, it reflected all this passion and all these interests I had back in the day. And as you can see, it's somewhat abstract. I didn't pay a lot of attention to detail, so it's kind of symbolic to be exact, and it's this style is something like it reflects a little bit of a Japanese conventional art style, something like that, so. And I honestly I do not like this painting a lot, but my family likes it, so that's why I keep it there, so let's go to the next one. This one is one of my all-time favorites, and as you can see, all my paintings, all my works are done in an impressionist style, so details are not important here. I just wanted to express the impression and also, probably my inner feelings. So this was something like an experiment to me. It was one of the first serious paintings that I actually worked on, because I started back in 2014, though I had some training in art before, but I never did it so seriously, and I got down to it seriously in 2014 just because I wanted to try this. I wanted to create a new hobby for myself, and it was a kind of therapy for my depression, and it helped. I like this painting a lot because the colors there are perfect, and the choice of the color scheme is also great in my opinion. So it's one of the I think it's one of the best works ever. So the next painting is done in a more realistic style. I created it as I remember it in 2018 in summer. I had a quick trip to the capital in Tashkent, and this is actually a pass, in the mountains, and I had this view. I captured it using my old phone, and later I decided, not later, yeah, I've immediately decided that it should be depicted, and that's what came out, and I tried to, actually the clouds, in reality, they were scattered a little bit more, but I wanted to express all their beauty in one smaller piece, so that's why I crammed them a little bit in this painting together, but the result was nice. I mean, I think I could capture the thickness of these clouds and the good weather. So that's it. The next is this is the painting which is inspired by another hobby of mine. It's motorsports. I regularly paint something related to motorsports, and this is, I think that motorsport fans will recognize this. This is the Toyota TS 050, yes, 040, yeah. So this is an LMP prototype, and this is 24-hour of Le Mans race. I wanted to depict the sunset, time, obviously. And of course, this observation wheel, its position is not correct in this painting, because it should be smaller and the angle should be different. But I just wanted to, put all this stuff symbolically, all together. So that's it. That's why, I didn't chase depiction of something realistic. I wanted to depict impression and also reflection of these headlights, and everything. So this was done back in 2015, I guess. Yes. And as I remember, it was in winter, or maybe not. I don't remember exactly. I'm sorry, guys. So the next painting is smaller. And I experimented with colors, and I wanted to achieve some watercolor effect using acrylic paint, and I guess that I somehow could do something about it. It looks like watercolor a little bit. Of course, the colors there are not that the saturated are not that kind of liquid as watercolor usually gives, but I guess that the fog and the overall ambience of this painting is felt there. So I wanted to express there is a piece of me in each painting that I paint, and maybe it's me walking, I don't know, but it's just like up to the viewer what he thinks. Maybe he will find himself in this painting. So, and this is the painting that I am most proud of, probably, because it's kind of something between impressionism and realism, because the depiction of trees and the shadows and light is pretty realistic, but at the same time it's a little bit exaggerated. So it falls into the category of impressionism. So I liked it very much. One of the best in my collection, in the collection of my works. It's one of the best that I made, and I worked on it for a rather long period of time. But anyway, it's a quick painting. It took like maybe 3 hours to finish it, So I always paint very quickly, so that's it. And there are certain paintings that are inspired by, by the things I've seen, the things that I've read and listened to. I am often inspired by music, and this painting is inspired by Joe Sample, a jazz pianist, a legend, the member of Crusaders. If you are a fan of smooth jazz and jazz fusion, you know this guy. Back in the day, it is a 2016 painting, or maybe, yes, 16 or 17, no, 17, yes, rather 17 painting. So I was inspired by Joe Sample's track Clifton's Gold, which was released in 1996 album Old Places, Old Faces. And the saxophone part and the piano part by Joe Sample, it is just so mesmerizing. And I was inspired by this song, and some ideas came into my mind, and I made this painting. It was initially the drawing, of this lady, and I've decided to make it a painting, like she's crossing the road and everything. And also I was inspired by another song The song by Jack McDuff, the organ player, jazz musician. It was Growing. The track Growing, one of the most popular and famous, of his tracks. So I often listen to music when I paint, and that's what I did while working with this one. I was experimenting with my painting style back then. I tried to make it more cartoonish, combine the style of illustration and something like that with impressionism and traditional art. So, and that is the result. Next one is this one, small one. It is. I actually didn't want to paint this one. I didn't. I made a few, strokes, and I was just like, oh no, this won't go, that stuff. But then later I decided, okay, let's give it a try. And back in the day, I was experimenting with depiction of the crowd, because I've noticed that I do not depict a lot of people in my paintings. And I've decided, like, okay, let's do this. And such a cartoonish look, I wanted it to be like that, to be like an illustration or something. And I also added this rain and droplets later to make it more rainy. And finally, one of the latest ones in 2018 at the end, or maybe in the beginning of 19, I made this painting, which depicts Le Mans, 24 Hours of Le Mans of 2014, because it was actually the race, which is in my memory in such a fresh state, because there were many competitors in the highest class, and the competition was really fierce. And Porsche, it was getting stronger in the competitive field back in the day in Le Mans and endurance racing in general. And I wanted to depict something more realistic related to Le Mans. And as you can see, the background is practically black, because I referenced, the reference to this painting was actually the photograph. And that's what the color scheme, the color combination looked like in this photograph. Everything at the back was practically blurred, and the focus as usual was on the cars, and there are some shadows which are painted in just pitch black color. So that's the backstory of this painting. And as you can see, I always add this kind of quick strokes of white in order to depict quickly and effectively the the flashlights and everything. So that's it. Well, that's what I wanted to tell you, and I hope that you enjoyed this kind of tour in my room. I mean on the wall of my room. So I hope that you liked it. I hope that right now, and now a little bit more about the story behind all these paintings, because I usually remember some details of each one, and what conditions I painted, what inspired me, and that sort of thing, how I was painting, how I was feeling. So stay safe, and see you in the next video.